Hey, how you all doing? What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Benjamin. You are second. What's up, Losh? You are third. What's up, Rude Noise? How's it going? Hey, Sal. I'm glad you could make it. What is up, Nikki? I'm glad you can make it. All right. I am running off of my laptop right now. So let me know if the sound is okay. Am I cutting in and out? Some of the words getting cut off. Um, does it sound the same? Does it sound a little bit different? Hmm. Do, 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 do. What am I going to stream about? The same thing we stream about every night, Pinky. Hmm. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. Oh, you're live streaming, Nikki. Whoa. That's cool. Da-na-na. Wait, what is your channel about? Hold on. Getting set up. Ah, my laptop is too small. Or rather, I don't have two big screens. It's so limiting. All right. All right, let's do some Wordle. Your channel is about that chat room and Dark Shadows, the TV show. What is that? Dark Shadows. Whoa, 1966. It is a horror show. After spending 200 years trapped in a coffin, a vampire escapes and returns to his family mansion in Collinsport, Maine. It's a soap opera from the 60s. Oh. Cool, cool. Okay, it ran for like a couple years. Not bad. The TV show, not the movie. Yeah, I figured. The movie has Johnny Depp. Look at that. Is it like a famous show or is it like a niche type of show? It seems niche because I've never heard of it. All right. All right, let's do it. Okay. Oh, looking good. Looking a little bit better. Re hmm. R R-I-E. How about that? Fren. Fren. Tran. Trian. Trieb. Triak. No. How about R-I-X-E? Riser. Oh, how I-E-R. Friar. Friar. Nope. Friar. Free. Rio. Ariel. Ariel. The name though. Ariel. Okay, okay, okay. Not there. I bet it's R-I. I'm thinking it's E-R for some reason. Like mixer. Mixer. Vixer. Mixer. Like Fiverr. Diver. How about a diver? Okay, 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 okay. Not diver. MacGyver. Giver. Nope. I-K-R. Biker. Biker. How about a biker? Oh, there's so many possibilities. Oh my god. This is not looking good. Biker. I only have 2 guesses left. Oh no. Biker? Biker's good, right? B-I-K-E-R. Ha! Oh no. Is this it? Is today the day, guys? My first loss in Wordle? Why? It was such a nice day. Ga. Diner. No, no D. It's finer. Finer? Finer. It's a finer. Would finer be a word? Oh, God. I did not think this through. Ah. You know how like sometimes things just sneak up on you? This snuck up on me. I wasn't expecting. Diner. No. Finer. It can't be finer. That doesn't seem like a word. Whiner? That's not a word. Figure. Fire. Fewer. Figure. Fiffer. I can only think about finer. Firer. Firer. Ear. B. Ear. Oh god. Oh god. I-E-E-R-E-R. Firer. Nirer. Gyrer. Hirer. Hirer. A hirer. That can't be. No. Finer. Right? Is there a better word? Finer does not seem like a word that they would use. Niner. Niner? That seems less like a word. Giner. Vagina. Heiner. Giner. Finer. Signer. Oh no. It's gotta be finer. There can't be another word. It's the only word. It's the one. This is the word. Finer. It can be finer or hirer. No, it's gotta be finer. This can't be the day. This is not the day I lose. Ah, I don't want to do this. No! Finer. Hiker. Hiker! No, there's no K. Hike. Pfizer. Chiver. Pfizer. Geyser. Geyser. Why? We were. Is there a finer? Ah! My instinct was right. That's not a word they would use. Nicer. Nicer. Ah. Did anyone get that? What a stupid game. I hate this game. Ah. What did Italy do to me? Italy fucked me up. Nicer. Finer is a fine word. Ah, God. Why did I do biker? I needed to eliminate more consonants. Ah. Oh, God. Today sucks. What did I do? I think my life is over, guys. I don't want to do this anymore. Gotta end the stream, okay? Stream is done. I'm done. I learned Italian for nothing. Nicer. Finer. Finer even sucks in this stupid game. Nice. Bad. Hate. Worst. Day. Ever. Week. Month. Year. Millennia. Expose as a fraud. Fraud. Guess. Mean. Meaner. Language. English. Sucks. Time. Oh, space. Space time. Oh, relativity. Charity. Oh, how about money? Money. Money? Money. Donate. Donation. Sponsor. Organization. Giving. Event. Possum. Alumni. A lot of negatives today. Posse. Election. Planner. A wedding. How about a funeral? Date. Special. Nope. Event. Did we try that? Event. Moeni? Yeah, I don't know why Moeni is a word. Play. Game. Plane. Ride. Horse. Gonna do random things now. Book. Read. Get. Hi. Hospital. How? How'd you do that? Hospital. How about clinic? How about health? Care. Caring. Tick. Death. Surgeon. Surgery. Oh. Aftercare. Oh. Is there a before care? No. Outpatient. Oh, inpatient. How about just patient? Operation. Heal. Daycare. No. Discharge. Oh, okay. Outpatient. How about doctor? Triage. How about, yeah, emergency is good. Emergency. Nope. Recovery. Recover. Um, Leave. Sick. Doctor, we tried. We could try nurse. Outpatient. Medicine. Okay, okay. Antibiotics. Okay, okay, okay. Virus. Antiviral. Um, Pain. Hurt. Infection. Prescription. Pharmaceutical. Pharmacy. Victim. Diagnosis. Whoa! Diagnose. Diagnostic. Drugs. Treat. Treatment. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good job. Good job, team. Nice work. Better than the previous game. What a dumb game. I don't even want to play anymore. Nicer. Oh, that word is going to haunt me today. I'm going to be going to sleep and dreaming. The word nicer is going to be in my dreams. The word nicer is not so nice. He's such a sore loser. Okay, I'm banning. I'm banning you. You're being banned right now. Okay. I don't know what this is. Okay. I have no idea. No idea. I think this came from a Halloween Tokyo treat box. Oh, okay. Not what I expected. It's like some kind of candy. Oh. Maybe some kind of lemon candy? They're a little bit squishy, not too squishy. It's like a 5 on the squishiness rating. Ooh. Yeah, it tastes of lemon. Definitely lemon. A little bit sour. Oh. Quite a bit sour. Oh my god. quite a bit sour. Oh no. Oh no, it's chewing gum. It's chewing gum. Damn, lucky I didn't swallow it. Mm. Mm. You gotta spit it out. I can't be chewing the entire stream. It's like it's sour chewing gum. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not bad for chewing gum. Oh, the sourness just keeps on going. I'm gonna squeeze out all of the sourness before I spit it out. Mm. I don't think it's bubble gum. I think it's just chewing gum. Eat them all? That'll be a waste. Mm. Okay. Then I got all of the sourness out. Now it's just a little sweet. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Definitely just chewing gum, not bubble gum. All right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna spit it out. All right. Chewing gum is nice sometimes, but not when you're reading. Swallow it? What the? Don't be crazy. Okay. You guys ready? What happened last week? Okay. So last week we had the 6 freaks of the South. They find some leopards, okay? Leopards are like uncovering the body of this mutilated man. Okay, it's like bloody mutilated body. And it turns out to be the body of Copper Corpse, okay? And the whole body is just a mess, and they don't know why. Okay, we don't know why. Remember, Iron Corpse ran away with Copper Corpse, so not sure why this happened. And then we have Duksh, okay, that's the son of Sengam. He taunts Guojing, okay, and then he goes to feed Tolui to the leopards, okay, because the leopard handlers are his own men. So he goes off to terrorize Tolui. Guojing, even though he's afraid, he wants to warn Tolui that that danger is coming. The 6 freaks see this. They like that his personality is his way. Okay. So Han Baoju, he helps Guojing reach Tolui quickly. And at the time, Tolui is like fighting with Dukshi's gang. Okay. And he's using the moves that he was taught by Zhu Tong, and he kind of just beats up the gang. All right. And then the 6 freaks, okay, Guojing and Duksh with the leopard handlers, they all arrive. But Temujin and his 4 aces also arrive, and they halt the imminent leopard fight. Okay, unfortunately, we don't get to see the leopard fight. Temujin's wife and also comes with the daughter. Daughter's name is Hua Zheng. Now, Huajang is just a little baby, like 4 years old or something like that. Huajang thinks the leopards are cute, right? So she comes up to them, not knowing any better, and the leopards leap at Huajang. And at the time, no one was near except for Guo Jing, and Guo Jing kind of saves her. Okay, and at the same time, Ku Zhenhe like secretly kills the leopard with his hidden weapons. Okay. Now there's huge tension between Temujin and Sengam. But Temujin kind of diffuses it by proposing that his daughter Hua Zheng marry that freaking Duksh. Okay, and everyone was that calms things down. Okay, people were all right with that. Afterwards, the six freaks they decide to teach Guojing and Tolui martial arts. All right, and then over the period of 10 years, they teach them. Okay, Tolui turns out to be a quick learner, but Guojing is kind of slow. He can't understand much. And the freaks, as they were teaching him, they get discouraged. Okay, they believe they would lose the bet because Guojing would lose against Yang Kang, even though they had never met Yang Kang before, or even they don't even know if Yang Kang is still alive. So they teach him for 10 years. Okay, and it's a kind of a time skip. He's 16 now. He's 16, so the match happens in another 2 years. Okay. Now, over the years, Guo Jing has grown closer to Hua Zheng, that girl who was promised to Duksh. One day, a disciple of Qiu Chu Chi, okay, his name is Yin Ji Ping, he arrives and he kind of tests Guo Jing's skills. And he finds Guo Jing to be kind of lacking. All right. And so he comes, he's actually there to deliver a letter to the freaks, a letter written by Qiu Chu Chi. Now, Qiu Chu Chi's letter reveals that he actually found Yang Tiexin's child. Okay, he found Yang Kang, and turns out Yang Kang is a he, not a she, a he. And he has been training Yang Kang. And Yang Kang seems to be even stronger than Yin Jiping, that Taoist disciple who tested Guo Jing's skills. So Guo Jing is kind of screwed. He doesn't seem to be Yang Kang's match, unfortunately. The six freaks, they hear about this, they hate it, okay? And they try to train Guo Jing even more. But this just makes Guo Jing struggle even more, causing his teachers to become even more frustrated. One day, Han Xiaoying is training him, and he is just not getting it. And she like throws down her sword to the ground, and she leaves crying. Guo Jing is all bummed out. But at that moment, he hears Hua Zheng calling him urgently for something. And that's where we left off. How's that? Oh, rated out of 10. The gum, I'm going to say, not a fan of chewing gum. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Have I ever given anything lower than a 5? Okay, I must have, right? I remember giving something like a 3. Mm-hmm. All right. 1 second. What's the flavor I hate? It's worse than that. Butterscotch. What did I give butterscotch higher than a 5? Not possible. You wonder if the 7 freaks are also going to be sore losers? Actually, Losh, they're the 6 freaks now. Okay, I don't know who the 7 freaks are that you're talking about. Is it banana you don't like? I also don't like banana. But I really don't like butterscotch. Yang Kan's skills are nicer than Gojing. Okay, good job. Nicer is a terrible word. I'm never gonna use it again. Ever. Butterscotch is great? No, it's not. It's terrible. Uh, I had a I had PT I have a PTSD from butterscotch. Eating way too much butterscotch when I was young. All right. Okay, so the audio is okay, guys, so far. It hasn't changed. That's good. So it looks like I switched to my laptop and nothing has changed. All right, this is chapter 5, part 2. Oh, wait. I said chapter 5, part 2. Oh, what? Oh, no. Okay. My shortcuts are not working on this laptop. Audio seems better. Okay, good. I think I did something wrong. I did something wrong with the audio from before. Yeah, makes sense that it's better now. Okay, so he hears Hua Zheng's voice calling him, okay? He turned around and saw her on her horse, with an anxious and excited expression. What's happened? Guojing asked. Quickly, come and see, Hua Zheng answered. There's a fight with 2 big eagles. I'm training now. You trained so badly that your Shifu scolded you, am I right? Guojing nodded his head miserably. It is indeed a terrifying fight. Come, let's see it. Guojing was very tempted, but he remembered the disappointment he caused the 7 Shifu, the 7th Shifu, and shook his head sadly. I won't go. I came especially to tell you, an excited Hua Zheng said. If you don't come, don't expect to find me later. Then quickly go alone. If you tell me later how it went, it will be almost the same thing. Hua Zheng jumped down from her horse, and with a stubborn look on her face, she walked up to him. If you won't go, I won't go either. I wonder if it's the black eagles that are going to win, or the white ones. Is it the pair of big white eagles that live on the cliff? Yes. Even though the black eagles outnumber them, the white ones are still very dangerous. They've already killed 3 or 4 blacks with their beaks. On the top of the cliff, a couple of white eagles nested. White feathers were very rare amongst eagles, and these eagles were not only completely white, but also of exceptional size. The ancients used to say that they had never seen their equal, and considered those eagles divine birds. Some women even avowed them in a cult. Listening to her, Guojing couldn't hold back any longer. He took Hua Zheng's hand, and the two jumped onto the back of her horse and rushed to the cliff. She totally convinced him. When they got there, they saw the white eagles fighting against 17 or 18 black ones, attacking them with their beaks and their talons, making feathers fly. The white eagles were bigger and stronger. A single stroke of their powerful beak on the head was enough to kill an enemy, who then fell to the ground. The others flew away, but came back soon after to surround the pair again. The spectacle had attracted many spectators. Oh, did it? The spectacle attracted many spectators. More than 600 men and women from many tribes were gathered and commenting on the fight. Even Temujin, accompanied by Ogedai and Tolui, had come to watch the fight with interest. Guojing, Tolui, and Huazheng often played at the bottom of the cliff and saw the white eagles nearly every day flying to their nest or leaving it when going to hunt. Like a damn sports game? Yeah, true. I'm guessing they didn't have a lot of excitement and entertainment back in the day. Well, they had a lot of excitement. It's not entertainment. Actually, if this was happening in right now outside, I would go and watch. This is actually pretty exciting. Your bet is on the White Eagles, Losh. Didn't you read this before? Haven't you read it? Sometimes the children threw them some cuts of sheep meat. The eagles then dove and snatched them with precision while in the air. By doing this, they created close ties between them and the eagles. Because the white eagles were fewer in number, the children encouraged them with great vigor. Go, white eagles! Attack! Watch out! Enemy on the left! Quickly! Well done! Oh, you know what? I'm on my Wi-Fi, actually. When I'm on my computer, it's wired. But now I'm on my Wi-Fi. And it seems to be going all right. I think. I hope there's not like dropped frames or anything. Two more black eagles fell, but the white eagles were also wounded, and their white feathers were covered with blood. Suddenly, a particularly black. I think I'm still reeling from the Wordle loss, guys. All right, you think the white one's gonna win? I'm gonna bet on the black eagles. Okay, I'm gonna bet on the underdogs. The stream ends because there's a fight in front of my house. Yeah, true. If there's a fight outside my house, it would be a possum fight. It would be those 3 possums that I kicked out of the house coming back, taking revenge. A nicer black eagle? No. The white ones are the nicer one. The black ones are my dudes, okay? I'm betting on them. Suddenly, a particularly big black eagle uttered several screams and flew away, followed by about 10 of its companions. They disappeared into the clouds. 4 other black eagles remained fighting. Thinking that they had seen the victory of the white eagles, the spectators uttered shouts of joy. Shortly after, 3 other black eagles also flew away to the east, pursued by one of the white ones. Soon they were out of sight. The remaining black eagle tried to escape the single white eagle and was about to succumb when suddenly strident screeches came from the clouds, and about 10 of the black eagles that had previously flown away appeared out of the clouds and attacked the lone white one. Excellent strategy, exclaimed Temujin admiringly. The isolated white eagle was not able to, in spite of his bravery, resist the constant assault of his adversaries and fell onto the cliff, overwhelmed by the black eagles. The children were very worried, and Huazheng exploded in sobs. Quickly, Dad, she said while crying. Kill the black eagles. But Temujin was thinking about the ruse used by the winners. The black eagles won, he said to Ogedai and Tolui, thanks to a very clever strategy. Don't forget it. His 2 sons acknowledged this. After having finished the white eagle, the black eagles flew towards a cavity in the cliff. One could see the heads of 2 white eaglets that would likely succumb to the attack of the aggressors. Oh, shoot. Gonna kill the babies, too. Gonna destroy the entire family. Guojing, can you see? Huazheng cried. The eagles have eaglets. How can we've never noticed them? Father, shoot quickly and kill those black eagles. Temujin smiled, aimed his bow, and shot an arrow of iron that, like the lightning sliced through the body of a black eagle. The crowd applauded. The Khan then gave his bow to Ogadai. It's your turn. Ogadai pulled back the bow and also knocked his target down, as did Tolui. The black eagles started to panic. Other officers and soldiers also started to help the white eaglets, but the remaining black eagles had gained height, and it became very difficult to reach them. A reward for those that will make a hit, shouted Temujin. Jebe, a skilled archer, wanted Guojing, his pupil, to have his moment of glory, and handed him his own war bow. Knee on the ground, he recommended in a low voice. Aim for the neck. Guojing complied, putting his right knee on the ground. What do you guys think? Is he gonna hit it? I think so. His left hand firmly held the powerful bow, and he drew the bow with his right hand. After 10 years of training with the 6 freaks of Jiangnan, even though he had not assimilated their sophisticated martial arts, nevertheless he had acquired strength in his arms and outstanding precision when aiming a bow. Seeing 2 eagles flying one above the other to the left, he turned, aimed for the neck, and released his projectile. It was precisely as the popular expression described it. The bow bent as the full moon, the arrow flashing like a meteor. The first eagle didn't have the time to escape before the arrow pierced its neck, continuing its way and planting itself in the flank of the second bird. Only 1 arrow for 2 eagles, which fell like stones. The crowd noisily applauded, and the other eagles didn't stay any longer and rushed to disperse themselves. Oh, damn. He killed 2 birds with 1 arrow. Offer the 2 eagles to my father, whispered Huazheng into the ear of Guojing. He obeyed. He collected the 2 eagles, ran to Temujin, and kneeling, he offered the 2 eagles to him respectfully. Temujin appreciated, above all, skilled fighters. He was delighted to see Guojing suddenly bringing 2 eagles down with a single shot, especially since the eagles from the north were dangerous birds. The span of their wings passed 1 meter. Yeah, eagles are huge. Their feathers were as hard as iron, and they were so strong that they could seize and carry away in the air ponies or large sheep. Even tigers and leopards were afraid of them. To kill 2 eagles with a single arrow constituted a remarkable exploit. Brave boy, Temujin said while accepting the offer. You managed the bow quite well. Okay. So Guojing is not that good with martial arts, but with a bow, he's kind of an expert. It is Master Jebe who taught me. The master is Jebe, said Temujin while laughing. The disciple is also Jebe. Father, Tolui said, wanting to help his sworn brother. You promised a reward to the one that could bring an eagle down. My Anda killed 2 of them with 1 shot. What reward will you grant him? Whatever he wants, answered Temujin, still smiling. Guojing, what do you want? Is it true? Insisted Tolui, delighted. Whatever he wants? Do I have the habit of lying, even to children? During all these years, Guojing had lived under the Khan's protection. Everyone in the tribe liked him for his simplicity and his kindness, and no one rejected him, even though he was Chinese. Seeing the Khan in such a good mood, all had turned towards the young man, hoping that he would get a good reward. The Khan is so good to me, said Guojing, and my mother has everything that she needs. You don't need to trouble yourself giving me a reward. Well, that is a good example of filial piety, Temujin said. You always think about your mother first. But for yourself, what do you wish? Speak without fear. Guojing thought an instant, and then knelt before Temujin. I don't want anything from me, but I have a wish for someone else. What is it? Asked Temujin. Duksh, The son of Sengum is cruel and mean. If Hua Zheng marries him, she will be very unhappy. I implore the Khan not to give her in marriage to that dishonorable man. Aha, good job. Hey, I like him even more now. Nice work, Guojing. Temujin was disconcerted at first, but then exploded in laughter. Ha 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 ha. These are indeed the wishes of a child. How could this be possible? I am going to give you a very precious object. From his belt, he removed a dagger, which he handed to Guo Jing. All the officers displayed their admiration and appreciation noisily. It was Temujin's favored weapon, with which he had killed innumerable enemies. If he had not made a solemn promise, he would never have parted with it. Take my golden dagger, Temujin said, and kill some enemies for me. Okay, chat likes this boy too. Yeah, me too. I will, Guojing answered. Guojing thanked him and took the dagger. He had often seen it on the Khan's belt, but it was the first time that he examined it closely. The girdle was of pure gold, and the end of the handle was decorated with the grinning head of a tiger, also in gold. Hua Zheng, exploding in sobs, bounded onto her horse and left at full speed. Temujin had a hard heart, but he could not stop sighing while thinking of his daughter's pain. He then took the eagles to the camp, followed by his officers and soldiers. After the crowd dispersed, Guojing drew the dagger and felt the coldness of the blade. He had the impression that he could see traces of blood on it. It was a short, massive weapon, and it impressed him because it had killed many people. He moved it for about a moment and then put it back in its sheath, which he attached to his belt. Then he drew his sword and started practicing the sword of the Yue maiden again. In spite of all his efforts, he didn't succeed in executing the movements of Branch Hits the White Gorilla correctly. He either didn't jump sufficiently high, or he didn't have the time to make the turns. The more frustrated he got, the less he controlled his breathing. The result was catastrophic, and he was sweating heavily. Suddenly he heard a galloping noise, a galloping horse. It was Hua Zheng coming back. He needs to use the golden dagger to kill Douche. True. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, use that dagger on Douche. Douche seems like a nicer guy. She stopped not far from him, got off the horse, and lay down on the grass with her chin on her hand to watch Guojing train. Seeing that he seemed to be suffering a lot, she shouted to him, Stop, rest for a while. Don't disturb me, Guojing retorted. I don't have the time to chat with you. Hua Zheng didn't say anything else, but observed him while smiling. Then she took a handkerchief from her pocket, made 2 knots in it, and threw it to him. Wipe off the sweat with it. Guojing grumbled, but didn't look up to catch it, and continued to train. After a little while, she asked, You asked Dad to not marry me to Duxi. Why? Duxi is very mean. He once released leopards so that they could devour your brother, Tolui. If you marry him, maybe he will beat you. If he beats me, you will come to defend me. But, thought Guojing, speechless, how would that be possible? If I don't marry him, who will marry me? Hua Zheng said with a tender look. I don't know, Guojing said, shaking his head. Pah! Hua Zheng said, while the face that had blushed earlier became suddenly furious. You never know anything. Some moments later, she softened her attitude. Then they heard the eaglets on the summit of the cliff calling. Loud screeches sounded in the sky. It was the second white eagle coming back after having been drawn afar by the black ones. From the heights, it saw its beloved companion dead on the cliff. Then it flew like a white cloud in concentric circles. Oh, it's sad. Nicer has become the new word for horrible? Yes, that's right. Nicer no longer has a positive connotation to me. Guojing stopped and raised his head. The white eagle didn't stop whirling, still uttering screeches of pain. Oh, I don't have the eagle sound effect. No. Ah! Watch, Huajing said. The eagle is unhappy. Yes, Guojing agreed. It must be very sad. The eagle uttered a long call and suddenly flew off up towards the highest clouds. Why does it go up so high? Huajing wondered. Oh shit, is it gonna kill itself? Suddenly the eagle came down again like an arrow and dove onto the cliff where it smashed itself. Horrified, Guojing and Huajing uttered a scream of surprise and didn't know what to say. Suddenly they heard a loud voice behind them saying, Admirable, admirable. They turned around and saw a white-haired Taoist with a red face. His clothing was strange, and to his hair were attached 3 high adornments. He wore the immaculate dress of a Taoist, which was a surprising sight on this windy and dusty plain. Since he had spoken in Chinese, Hua Zheng didn't understand him and lost interest. Those eaglets are done for? Oh no. True. That eagle did not care about his kids. The two eaglets lost their father and mother, she said, looking up at the top of the cliff. How will they survive now? The extremely steep cliff reached up into the sky, and it looked nearly impossible to climb. Obviously, the two eaglets, which had not yet learned to fly, were going to die of hunger in their nest. Unless, said Guojing, someone has wings and flies there. It is the only way to save them. He collected his sword and started to practice. In spite of all his efforts, he still didn't manage to execute the movements. Just as he began to despair, he heard a voice behind him saying coldly, If you keep doing it that way, you will still be dragging your sword 100 years from now, and you won't progress as much as a hair. Guojing turned around. It was the Taoist with the 3 adornments. What did you say? He asked. The man smiled, didn't answer, and suddenly advanced. Guojing felt like his arm was paralyzed, and, without knowing how, saw his sword, that he had held firmly, in the hand of the Taoist. Ju Tong had already taught him the technique to seize a blade with bare hands. Even though he hadn't mastered it entirely, he had assimilated the principles of it. However, this time he didn't have the slightest idea as to how the Taoist did it. Frightened, oops, 1 second. All right, sorry. Frightened, he moved back 3 steps. He stood in front of Hua Zheng to protect her and drew Temujin's knife. Watch closely, the Taoist shouted. He jumped as if it was nothing special, made 6 or 7 turns with the sword before softly landing on his feet. Guojing was awestruck. The man threw the sword on the ground and said while laughing, The white eagle was quite admirable. It is necessary to save its offspring. He sprang toward the cliff and began climbing at full speed, using his feet and hands, as agile as a monkey and as light as a bird. The slope rose very steeply and was, in part, as straight as a wall, but the slightest bump was sufficient for him to climb up higher. Even when the rock appeared smooth as a mirror, he climbed like a lizard. Damn, he's a monkey lizard bird. Guojing and Huazheng were very anxious. If he slipped, the fall would definitely kill him. The silhouette became smaller and smaller and gave the impression he was about to enter the clouds. The girl closed her eyes, afraid of seeing what could happen. Where is he now? She asked. He's nearly at the summit, Guojing answered. There, he made it. Opening her eyes, she saw the Taoist fly off as if he was going to fall, and let out a scream of fright. In fact, when he reached the summit, the large sleeves of his robe floated in the violent wind that blew there. One had the impression, seen from below, that he was a huge bird. The man slipped his hand into the nest, caught the two eaglets, and put them against his chest. Then back to the slope he went, where he let himself slip, grabbing a hand on a bump here or giving a kick from time to time to slow his fall, and reached the ground very quickly. Guojing and Huazheng ran towards him. He took the eaglets and said to the girl in Mongolian, Will you take good care of them? Yes, 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 she answered quickly. Huazheng, surprised and delighted, stretched out her hands. Be careful of their beaks, warned the Taoist. They are small, but their bite is dangerous. Huazheng undid her belt and attached it to the legs of the fledglings. Then she held them against herself, delighted. I'm going to look for meat to feed them. Wait, the Taoist said. If you want the eaglets, you must promise me one thing. What? You must not tell anyone that I climbed the cliff to catch the birds. Okay, Huazheng said joyfully. That's easy. I won't tell anyone. While they are growing, warned the Taoist while smiling, these two white eagles will become aggressive. Be very careful while feeding them. Happy, she told Guojing, each of us will have one, and it will be me who keeps them in the meantime, okay? Guojing nodded his head. Huazheng got on her horse and happily rode off. The young man stayed immobile, as if hypnotized, reviewing in his head the ease of the movements of the Taoist, executing the branch hits the white gorilla. The man grabbed the sword and kindly offered it to him, and turned on his heels. Seeing that he was leaving, Guoqing said in panic, You, please, don't leave. Why not? Asked the Taoist. Guojing scratched his head, not knowing what to say. Suddenly he kowtowed, knocking the ground with his forehead without stopping. Why do you prostrate yourself before me? The Taoist asked. There was a deep ache in Guojing's heart. Seeing the kind face of the Taoist, he felt as if he had met a relative with whom he was able to confide. Suddenly, two big tears rolled down his cheeks, and he said while choking back sobs, Me, I'm very dumb. I can't manage to learn martial arts, and I am a disappointment to my 6 shifus, to whom I owe everything. What are you going to do? The Taoist asked. I give all of myself day and night, and still I can't manage to do it properly. I really can't manage to learn it. Do you want me to show you a way? He asked. Yes, please, replied Guojing, kowtowing again. The Taoist smiled. It seems to me that you are full of sincerity. Very well. Let's meet each other again in 3 days. We will meet on the 15th day of the month. When the moon is full, I will wait for you at the summit of the cliff. But you must not tell anyone. Then he left. But I won't be able to climb up there, Guojing protested in a rush. The Taoist didn't answer, and it appeared, as he departed, that his feet didn't touch the ground at all, and he was already far away. Is he the same Taoist? I believe he is. Whenever I hear Taoist, I just think it's that guy. He made that promise on purpose to embarrass me. He doesn't want to teach me. Then he said to himself, I am not yet without a shifu, and my 6 shifus have caused themselves much pain trying to teach me. It's me who is stupid, What choices do I have? This senior is probably very strong, but I won't be able to learn any of what he knows from him anyways. Why should I even try? He contemplated the top of the cliff, and then he tried to not think more about it. He took his sword and repeated the moves again and again of the branch hits the white gorilla until sunset, when hunger urged him to go back home. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. That afternoon, Han Baoju taught him the whip of the golden dragon. This kind of flexible weapon required particularly close attention. If one didn't master all of the refinements of it, not only would you not reach the enemy, but you risked getting injured by it yourself. Guojing, of course, made a false move, and slash! The whip turned against him, striking him on the head, causing a big bump. Han Baoju, who had a legendary harsh character, immediately gave him a slap. Guojing didn't dare to shy away and continued to practice. Seeing him putting in a lot of effort, Han Baoju regretted having lost his temper. Even though his pupil made mistakes several more times, the master didn't scold him again. He showed him 5 more movements, encouraged him, and recommended that he train by himself. Then he left on his horse. So they're all going to teach the same child? Yep, looks like it. To practice the whip of the golden dragon wasn't an easy task. After having executed the set of sequences about 10 times, Guojing's forehead, arms, and thighs were covered with blue welts. Tired and aching all over, he fell asleep on the grass. When he woke up, the moon had appeared from behind the mountains. He felt burning pains on his whole body, and notably on the cheek, where Han Baoju had slapped him. Contemplating the top of the cliff, he had suddenly a burst of self-esteem. If the Taoist can climb up there, why not me? He thought. Clenching his teeth, he ran to the cliff and began to climb, clinging onto the plants that grew there, slowly going up. At the end of 6 or 7 zhangs, so approximately 11 feet. Wait, 1 zhang is 11 feet. The cliff became completely smooth without any vegetation or bumps to grasp. How could he advance further in these conditions? He gritted his teeth, tried 2 times, but his foot always slipped, and he almost fell. Understanding that any new attempt would be in vain, he wanted to go back down again. When he glanced behind him, he was terrified. He had forced himself to follow this path of ascent, and now found his feet were unable to use the same support points on the way down. If he jumped, he would certainly smash himself below. Caught in a desperate situation, the words of his 4th Shifu came to mind. In this world, there's nothing impossible to the men of good will. Since death stared at him from all sides, rather than remain in an untenable position, it was better to continue. He drew his dagger and dug 2 small holes, in which he slowly placed 1 foot and steadied himself, and then the other. He rose, thus a few more inches. Then he continued to dig in the wall, making more hand and footholds, rising laboriously a few zhangs. Because of the difficulty of the task, his head started to spin, and his limbs burned with exhaustion. He stopped to clear his mind, holding closely to the wall, controlling his breathing. Then he wondered how many holes it would take before arriving at the summit. As strong as his dagger was, it would probably be able to dig 10 more holes, and then it would break. Since he had made it this far, he could no longer go back. After a brief rest, he got ready to dig again. Then he heard a burst of laughter coming from the summit of the cliff. Wondering who this laugh came from, then he saw a thick rope slip down and stop next to him. He heard the voice of the Taoist saying, "Tie the rope around your waist. I will pull you up." Delighted, Guojing sheathed his dagger. Holding tightly with his left hand, he took the rope with his right and wrapped it around his waist 2 times and made 2 knots. Did you tie it firmly? The Taoist shouted. It's done, Guojing said. The Taoist seemed to not have heard. Did you tie it? He asked again. It's done, Guojing repeated without any response. Some instants later, the Taoist laughed again and said, I forgot. Your breathing is not yet sufficiently powerful. Your voice cannot carry as far as mine. If you tied it well, pull 3 times on the rope. Guojing obeyed and pulled 3 times. Suddenly the rope grew taut. His body flew up towards the summit of the cliff. He knew that the Taoist was going to pull it, but not with such speed. In the blink of an eye, he landed again on his feet, right in front of the old man, with a broken back. He knelt and got ready to kowtow, but the Taoist held his arm. 3 days ago, you kowtowed more than 100 times. It is more than enough. You are a child with good character. On the summit of the cliff was flat ground covered with snow. The Taoist showed him 2 big round rocks that looked vaguely like stools. Sit there. I will remain standing to serve you, Shifu, Guojing said. You don't belong to my school, the Taoist said, still smiling, and I am not your master, and you are not my disciple. You may sit. Psyduck. I guess it makes sense he came to teach Guojing. His plan from the start was to help both kids and mothers get revenge. The game was just a trick. Yeah. He wants both kids to succeed. Or maybe he has another plan. Guojing, perplexed, obeyed and sat down. Your 6 Shifus, the old man continued, are well known in the martial arts realm. I don't know them personally, but I've always felt a lot of admiration for them. It would be more than enough for you to acquire the techniques of one of them to make yourself a name in the Jianghu. It is not due to a lack of effort on your part, yet, during the past 10 years, you haven't progressed that much. Do you know why? It is because I am too dumb. My Shifus have tried very hard to teach me the best they could, but it didn't help. It's not really because of you, the Taoist said. It's as the popular saying goes, if those that teach don't know how to teach, then those that try to learn won't learn anything. Oh, I just insulted the 6 Shifus. I don't understand what you're saying. If we look only to the core of martial arts, the level to which you've arrived is not negligible. At the time of your first real fight since the beginning of your training, when you were beaten by the Taoist youth, you questioned yourself and thought it was impossible for you to beat him. On this point, however, you are completely mistaken. How does he know of this matter? Guojing wondered. This Taoist youth made you do a somersault, but he did it with a trick. Comparing basic techniques, it's not at all certain that he surpasses you. Besides, your 6 Shifus are probably as strong as I am. That's why I cannot teach you martial arts. He's right, Guojing thought. My 6 Shifus are very strong. It's me that's too dumb. Your 7 Shifus made a bet, continued the Taoist. If I teach you some martial arts, your masters will be sad when they learn of it. They are brave and place a lot of importance on loyalty and honor. They would refuse to accept any sort of unfair advantage in a bet. What bet? Guojing wondered. So you don't know about it then? Well, if your masters didn't tell you anything about it yet, it's because you don't have to know about it at the present time. During the next 2 years, they will certainly explain it to you in detail. Let's look at it this way. You are full of sincerity, and it seems that our meeting was written in destiny. I am going to teach you some methods of breathing, of sitting down, of walking and sleeping. The astonishment Guojing felt knew no boundaries. To breathe, to sit down, to walk, to sleep, he thought to himself. I know how to do that already. Why would I have to learn it again? He thought of a lot of questions, but didn't say anything. Clear the snow from this big rock, the Taoist ordered. You will be able to sleep there. Guojing thought it strange, but obeyed. He swept off the layer of snow and lay down on the rock. Oh, not like that, the Taoist said. If it was just sleeping like that, I wouldn't need to teach it to you. Here are 4 formulas. Remember them well. When the thought fades, the feelings will be forgotten. When the body empties, the breath will circulate. When the heart dies, the mind will live. When the sun rises, the darkness will vanish. Guojing repeated the formula several times to learn them by heart, but he didn't understand the meaning of them. Before sleeping, the Taoist continued, it is necessary to clear the mind, letting no thoughts or preoccupations remain there. Then it is necessary to compose the body while lying on your side and to breathe in a continuous way through the nose so that the soul doesn't wander inside and the mind doesn't go outside. And so he taught Guojing breathing and the mastery of the breath, the technique of meditation and of eliminating worries. Guojing did what the Taoist explained to him. In the beginning, his thoughts stayed chaotic and difficult to control, but after applying the breathing method, exhaling and inhaling deeply, after a certain time, he slowly felt his heart calm down, and a slow breath brought slowly to his dantian, the area between the groin and the navel, brought a warm feeling. Okay, Taoist is teaching him meditation and controlling his breathing to control his qi. An icy wind blew on the summit of the cliff, but he didn't feel any need to resist it. He remained immobile, stretched out on his side, for close to an hour before feeling some ants in his limbs. The Taoist, who was sitting cross-legged in front of him, practicing meditation, opened his eyes. Now, said the Taoist, you can fall asleep. All right. I think this is a good time for a 5-minute break, guys. All right. I will be right back. What do you think? Is he going to be like a super powerful fighter now? All right, be right back. All right, we are back. The others might not have considered that he hadn't been taught anything at all, including breathing techniques. Yeah, but they should have considered that if they were good teachers, no? Guojing obeyed and fell asleep. When he woke, the rays of the sun had begun to radiate from the east. The Taoist let him down the cliff attached to the rope, telling him to come back this evening. He reminded him to not speak of it with anyone. Guojing returned that evening, and the Taoist brought him up with the same rope. During his practice with the 6 shufus, he often did not go back home at night, but his mother didn't worry about him. And so he went in the evening and left at dawn, practicing meditation and the mastery of breathing all night on the summit of the cliff. It was strange. The Taoist hadn't taught him any movements at all, not even the smallest sequence. And yet, in his daily practices, he became lighter and faster. 6 months later, the movements that he hadn't managed to do before now were executed perfectly. Oh, he made more progress in 6 months than he did in 10 years. The sequences that he had never completed some months ago were executed with speed and precision. The 6 freaks of Jiannan believed that, with age and the regular practice, He was finally open to learning martial arts. They no longer felt the frustration they had at the beginning of his training. Every evening, when he arrived at the cliff, the Taoist climbed with him, showing him how to use his breathing and his strength. They went up together until he was incapable of continuing. Then the Taoist rushed to the summit and raised him with the rope. With the passing of the months, the young man climbed more and more quickly, and higher and higher. The steps once so difficult were cleared with one jump, with only one jump. Only some particularly difficult places still required the help of the rope. Another year passed, and only a few months remained before the competition. The six freaks of Jiannan spoke of this event as though it was going to change the world of martial arts and attract the attention of all the brave heroes in the country. Observing Guo Jing's lightning progress, the six felt sure to win, and the idea of returning to their home in Jiannan filled them with joy. However, they still hadn't explained to Guo Jing the reasons for this competition. One morning, Nan Xiren said to Guo Jing, Jing in these last few months, you've mastered the weapons. It may be that you still lack enough practice fighting with bare hands. Today, we are going to work the palms more. Guo Jing nodded his head. He arrived at the place where they usually trained. Nan Xiren got ready to begin the lesson when suddenly they saw clouds of dust rising not far away, accompanied by screams and neighs. A herd of horses approached at a fast gallop, and the beasts were agitated. The Mongol who herded them had problems retaining control of them with his whip. Just when they'd barely settled down, one could suddenly see, coming from the west, a small red horse with a hair the color of fire. It was, is this going to be Guo Jing's horse, guys? It looks pretty impressive. It was speeding along in the herd, harassing it with hooves and bites, before disappearing northward at the speed of the wind. Then the red tornado came back in the blink of an eye, provoking a considerable tumult in the herd again. Furious, the herders tried to capture this spoil sport, but the horse was so fast that it was impossible to catch it. In an instant, the horse had moved off and stood several zhangs away, neighing proudly, as if he was very happy with the shambles he'd caused. The Mongols didn't know whether to laugh or be angry. When the small horse charged in for the third time, several guards sent arrows in its direction, but he was so astute and fast that he departed before the projectiles reached it. An expert in martial arts couldn't have done it any better. The six freaks, along with Guo Jing, were fascinated. Even Han Baoju, who loved horses above all else, had never seen such a magnificent and fast animal. His own horse, Wind Chaser, had rare speed, unequaled even in Mongolia. However, the small red horse surpassed them all. Han asked the herders where this marvel came from. Well, this wild horse, answered a herder, comes from some mountains. We first saw it a few days ago and found it so beautiful that we wanted to capture it, but did not succeed. Our attempts put it in a mean mood, and for these past few days it keeps coming to bother us. It is not a horse, he said a very serious old horse herder. What is it then? Han Baoju wondered. It is a transformed celestial dragon. We shouldn't bother him. A dragon transformed into a horse? Another horse herder mocked. What nonsense! What do you know of it? I've kept horses for several years, but I never saw an animal as fabulous as this one, ever. He had not finished speaking when the small red horse sped again into the herd. The equestrian arts of Han Baoju, nicknamed the Horse God, were remarkable. Even the Mongols, who constantly lived in the saddle, recognized his superiority. Seeing that the small horse had come back, and knowing well which way he was going to leave, he stood in a strategic position and awaited the passage of the animal. When it approached, he suddenly jumped, a very calculated jump, so that he should have managed to straddle the beast. He had tamed so many stubborn horses in his life that he had the conviction that once on its back he wouldn't fall. However, in a split second, the small red horse accelerated, making Han Baoju miss his mark. Furious, he ran after him, but how could he have caught up with such a fast animal? Suddenly, someone jumped up and seized the mane of the horse with his left hand. Surprised, the horse galloped even faster. Still clutching the horse's mane, the man let himself be pulled along with his body off the ground. The spectators noisily applauded. Astonished and delighted, the six freaks saw that it was Guo Jing that was being cheered. Whoa! Good job, Guo Jing. But where? Zhu Tong asked. Did he learn a lightness technique? That's sophisticated. Our Jing has made immense progresses lately, Han Xiaoying said. Could it be his dead father that guides him from the heavens? Or would it be fifth brother? How could they have known that for the past 2 training years, the Taoist of the 3 adornments had taught him every evening on the cliff summit the art and mastery of breathing? Even though he didn't teach him any fighting skills, he had initiated him into the superior art of Neigong. Neigong could be regarded as a form of internal martial arts involving controlled breathing, meditation, and the awareness of what's happening inside one's own body, and to some extent controlling it. It can be used as an aid in the recovery of one's health from illness or injury and improves the skills of external types of martial arts. Rude noise. If he rides the horse off a cliff like every other horse in every other story, you're going to be pissed. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Every evening, when he climbed and descended the cliff, Guo Jing practiced without the knowledge of his teachers a very subtle lightness technique called the Flight of the Golden Eagle. Having a naturally simple and confident mind, he was completely unconscious of what he had learned from the Taoist, his progress in the mastery of his internal energy, and in this technique of the Flight of the Golden Eagle, only appeared when he practiced lightness techniques with Zhu Tong, Qian Jinfa, or Han Xiaoying. He didn't realize it, and the 6 freaks were pleasantly surprised at his improved performance without suspecting the truth. Observing the Neigong of their disciple and his suppleness that it didn't correspond at all to what they had taught him, they looked on in astonishment, suspecting that the young man had another master. Oh. Guo Jing suddenly executed a somersault in the air and dropped astride the horse. The horse reared, kicked with his hind legs, and bounded to all sides as if possessed. But the boy clamped down with his thighs and didn't allow himself to be tossed off. Han Baoju shouted some instructions to him and told him some tricks to master the horse, which ran with renewed vigor for more than an hour, apparently untiring. His audience was in awe. The old horse herder knelt and whispered some prayers, imploring the sky not to punish the man for having offended the dragon horse, before shouting to Guo Jing to let him go. But he didn't hear a thing and stayed glued to the horse as if he was attached by a rope, reacting to all of its movements smoothly. Come down off that horse, Han Xiaoying shouted. Let your third Shifu replace you. Absolutely not, protested Han Baoju. Changing the trainer now would risk all of the work he has done up until now. He knew very well that such a stallion had to have a strong character. If someone managed to tame it, it would respect its master and would stay forever faithful to him. But if more than one tried to overcome it, it would rather die than submit. Guo Jing also had an obstinate character. When he began to get tired, he slipped his arms around the neck of the horse and began to tighten them, making use of his internal energy. The animal bounded, jumped, and shook itself in all directions without getting rid of this pressure that was suffocating it. It then knew that it had met its master and stopped. Ooh. All right. It's going to be his horse, guys, for the rest of the story. Bravo! Exclaimed Han Baoju, delighted. That's it! You have succeeded! Fearing that the horse would run away again, Guojing didn't dare to dismount. What's up, say my name? How's it going? Glad you could join. You can come down, Han Baoju reassured him. Now it will follow you all of your life. Even if you wanted to get rid of it, you wouldn't be able to. The young man jumped to the ground. The horse licked his hand, showing affection that made everyone there laugh. A guard approached it a little too closely, and the animal gave him a kick that made him somersault. Guojing led it to the water to wash it and calm it down. Since this session of horse breaking had tired him a lot, the six released him from practice for now, but doubts still troubled them. After the lunch, Guojing came into the ger of his masters. Jing-er, Chen Jinfa said, I would like to see your practice of the crunching mountains palm strokes. Here? In the ger? Yes. One can meet enemies in any place. It's necessary to train to fight even in closed spaces. He feinted with the left and delivered a stroke with his right fist. Guojing, respecting the rule of courtesy due to elders, defended the 3 movements before responding. Chen Jinfa then attacked with violence. Suddenly his fists hit the young man's chest, with a movement named penetrating deeply in the lair of the tiger. It was no longer a practice stroke, but a deadly, violent, and heavy one used to kill. Panicked, Guojing wanted to move back, but he already had his back against the wall of the ger. Trying to protect himself when confronted with danger was a natural reaction, especially since he had a rather slow mind. Without even thinking about it, he turned his left arm and blocked the attack of Chen by repulsing his arms. The fists had already touched his chest when Chen realized with surprise that it was as soft as cotton, without any resistance. Then he was repulsed with strength, and his arms were afflicted by a jolting pain. He moved back 3 steps before recovering his balance. Guojing was speechless and knelt before saying, I probably did something that I shouldn't have, he exclaimed. I accept the punishment of the 6th Shifu. Afraid and surprised, he wondered what crime he could have committed that was worthy of his master's anger, to the point of wanting to kill him. Kujanu and the others got up, all with stern expressions. You trained with someone besides us, Ju Tong said. Why did you hide it from us? If 6th Shifu hadn't tested you like that, you would have continued to lie to us. Am I wrong? There is only Master Jebe, Guojing said, who teaches me the bow and the spear. Do you dare to lie to us again? An angry Ju Tong said, with a severe look. I would not dare to lie to my Shifus, ever, Guojing said, with his eyes full of tears. Then, where did you learn this mastery of Neigong? Ju Tong insisted. Now that you have the support of a powerful master, you no longer have any respect for us. Neigong? Guojing wondered. But I don't have a Neigong. Pfuh! P'tu! Ju Tong spat, still doubtful. He moved his index finger toward a location situated 2 inches below the sternum, named Tail of Turtle Dove. A stroke to this essential point on the body induces immediate unconsciousness. Guojing didn't dare to avoid or to defend against it, and remained immobile. However, he had practiced for almost 2 years with the Taoist of the 3 adornments, and, even though he didn't know it himself, his body was filled with internal energy. On contact with Ju Tong's finger, His flesh naturally retracted and then expanded itself, repulsing the finger. The stroke still hit the point effectively, but caused only a certain amount of pain, without succeeding in affecting that point on the meridian. Zhu Tong had not used all of his strength, but Guo Jing's internal energy had succeeded in neutralizing him. When he realized it, he was astonished and angry. "Then that's not Nei Gong," he shouted. "Could the Taoist master have taught me Nei Gong?" wondered Guo Jing, finally understanding. He said, "Uh, During these past 2 years, someone came every evening to teach me how to breathe, to sit and meditate, and to sleep. I found it funny, but I followed his instructions. But he didn't teach me any techniques, but he did tell me to not talk of it with anyone, since I thought that there wasn't anything wrong with it, and that it didn't affect my practicing. I didn't speak of it to any of you. I recognize my mistake. I won't go to him anymore," he kowtowed. The six looked at each other and thought, "The young man seems sincere, and he doesn't seem to be lying." "Don't you know what the Neigong is?" Han Xiaoying asked. "I really don't know what it is," Guo Jing said. "He told me to sit and meditate and to breathe slowly, without thinking about anything, while concentrating only on the way the breath circulates inside the body. In the beginning, I couldn't manage to do it, but lately I've had the impression that inside me there was something like a hot, small mouse running through all of my body. It was very funny." The six were surprised and delighted at the same time to see that this simple-minded kid had succeeded in reaching such a level. This was not very easy, especially for him. In fact, Guojing did have a simple mind. Compared to so-called intelligent people, he didn't have a head cluttered full of difficult and meandering thoughts to bother him. His type of mind encouraged progress in the acquirement of Neigong. Thus, in barely 2 years, he had succeeded in reaching this level. Okay, so his mind was so blank. "Who taught it to you?" Zhu Tong asked. "He doesn't want me to say his name," answered Guo Jing. "He said that the kung fu of my shifus is not lower than his, and that's why he cannot teach me martial arts, and cannot be my shifu. He made me swear to not ever describe his appearance to anyone." The six freaks were more and more astonished. In the beginning, they thought to themselves that Guo Jing had by luck met an expert, and were delighted for him. But this individual appeared so mysterious that they were now suspicious. With a gesture, Zhu Tong asked Guo Jing to leave. "I won't dare go and amuse myself with him any more," the young man said. "You can go," reassured Zhu Tong. "We are not angry with you, but you don't need to tell him that we know." Guo Jing acquiesced, and seeing that his masters weren't annoyed anymore, happily left. Outside of the ger, he saw Hua Zheng with the two white eagles, which had grown a lot. Standing next to her, they were nearly as tall as her. Okay, so crisis averted. "Come quickly," Hua Zheng said. "I've been waiting for you a long time." One of the eagles fluttered over and came to perch on Guo Jing's shoulder. "A while ago," he said, "I tamed a small red horse that runs with incredible speed. I don't know if it will let you mount it." If it doesn't let me," said Hua Zheng, "I'll slaughter it." "No, you won't." The two young people, hand in hand, ran on the plain to have fun with their horses and eagles. Oh, is Duksh gonna like this? What if he sees them? All right, guys. What do you think? Did you guys like this chapter? Yeah, I'm glad that Guo Jing has finally he got better, right? Yeah, he's not a screw up in martial arts anymore. Yeah. So we're guessing that the Taoist is the same Taoist as before, right? But it says he has 3 adornments. I don't understand why. Maybe it's a different Taoist? Did the previous Taoist have adornments? Rude noise. You like how the story is progressing? Yeah. Um Yeah, I don't remember the previous Taoist having 3 adornments. But who else could it be? Maybe it's someone from his sect. You think he's someone different? He could be. He could be. But he knows about the bet. Right? He's very familiar with it. He could be like a sworn brother in the same sect. Yeah. Oh, we're getting closer and closer to the match. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna get to see the other kid, see Young Kang, and see how they do. Who is better? Say my name. A new character? Yeah, think so. All right, guys. I'm gonna eat another one of these. Mm, no drink today. Too lazy. All right, guys. I'm excited for the next chapter. Um, I hope it's a nicer chapter. Too sour to drink. The kid is going to show up with a white eagle and a horse of fire. Oh yeah, I got the fire horse. That's awesome. I like how he did it in front of everyone. So now, yeah, everyone respects him. Yeah, he did the. He's actually pretty impressive. He killed 2 birds with 1 bow or 1 arrow, and he tamed the red horse that no one could tame. So, for being kind of a slow kid, he's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, I like that the people respect him. All right. Anyways, hope you guys join me next time. I love you, and thanks for joining. All right, see you next time. Bye.